Hi. Today I'd like to talk about the worldwide trend toward regulating of the massage industry, both the practice of massage and the practice of teaching massage, and why I disagree with it largely, although there's some areas I do agree with. This is going to follow on from the understandings gained in two previous lectures I did about what is Chi or what is life force, and massage as an art form. What I'm going to talk about now is based upon those two previous videos, so I would advise if you could watch them to understand my point of view better. So when we understand that massage is an art form, then the question is, who has the right to regulate art? That's a very important question, especially when we're looking at a period in history of multicultural integration and mixing. So for example, in certain countries, a lot of Western countries like Canada, the UK, New Zealand, Australia, the US, we have people coming from all over the world bringing their culture, bringing their understanding of life, bringing their religious ideas, their spiritual ideas. And massage has often been associated with people's philosophy. As I mentioned in the first one, Chinese massage and acupuncture has to do with the understanding of what is Qi or life force in China. Hawaiian massage has a lot to do with understanding the whole Hawaiian sense of cosmology. It has a whole idea of understanding how the Hawaiians view life. So when we have these different bodies, sometimes government bodies like this organization in Ontario called the College of Massage Therapists of Ontario, or these bodies in certain American states, massage boards, regulating exactly what people need to know to be a massage therapist, I think there's a big problem with that, because it's one person's idea of an art form telling other people's what they should know, how they should be an artist. I do agree with certain legislation. Let me be clear here. And one place that I do think has good legislation is Minnesota, where a person has to be of good character. They can't have a criminal record of being, a sexual predator or certain things like that, and there is a complaints board for professional ethics. I do believe as a massage therapist or a healer, we have to have a certain standard of professionalism in the way we relate to our clients and not exploiting them. All right. So as I mentioned before, with empathy, we need to tune into another person's life force, but then come from an angle of helping that person, not exploiting them. And many people, I call them wolves in sheep's clothing. I've even had to appear in court against massage therapists who are using their position to then sexually exploit their clients or romantically exploit them, or in different fields, different areas that you could see a person could be exploitative, taking that position of power and authority and using it for their benefit rather than for the client's benefit. So I do support legislation such as the one in Minnesota, where a person has to maintain certain professional codes and that. What I don't support is the legislation in most of North America where they say a person has to do 500 hours of training at a state-regulated school or a provincial school. And in the U.S., of course, it's you have to have a license to practice massage. In Canada, you have to have these, in certain provinces of Canada, I should say, you have to do a course at only a particular school that's recognized by the provincial government in order to use terms like massage therapist or massage practitioner or healer. I forgot the words anyway. They differ from province to province. But why I object to these is because it's regulating an art form, and everybody would emphasize something different. For example, a lot of the philosophies that emphasize life force emphasize the fact that you need to learn to tune into life force as a primary understanding. People have been practicing massage in Hawaii for thousands of years without learning anatomical terms in Latin. They would see the body differently. Of course, there's only one anatomy, but what people who are sort of fanatics about pushing this kind of idea onto people that you must learn extensive anatomy, physiology, a lot of it is about that's more important than life force, whereas I would disagree. I would say life force is more important than the body because we bury dead bodies, whereas living bodies are something that's very, very important. So I would say life force is even more important than learning anatomy. So I would emphasize that, and I would emphasize that connection between people. So that's what a lot of schools, though, how do you regulate that in some sort of government, mechanism? Government mechanism usually stifle creativity and innovation. And they also stifle things that can't be, put as this lowest common denominator. Things like empathy. How do you measure that? How do you measure an understanding of life force? And that's why massage is an art form that has its origins in cultures all over the world. So it's incredibly arrogant of people like these Canadian provincial authorities and some of these massage boards to think they have a right to define that word under strictly only their definition of it. So, for example, in Ontario or British Columbia, only people that have done these, 2,500 to 3,000 hour courses can use this word massage therapist, and people that have had it in their culture for thousands of years in Japan, in China, in Thailand, in India, in Hawaii, they're just pseudo-scientific, whatever derogatory terms they like to use about these people. They're not massage therapists. That's complete and utter BS. That's nonsense as far as it's racism. It's arrogance to the extreme to think that one group of people have the right to judge these other people and say they are not able to use the word massage therapist. Massage therapy is a broad word. It's a broad word that should be internationally recognized as a term that means using massage as a form to help a person get better. That's what therapy means. Therapy means to help a person in their health. Massage means to knead or to manipulate muscles. So massage therapy means to knead or to manipulate muscles in order to help people with their health. And that's it. They don't have a right to define it. It's so arrogant. It's an art form. It's like saying impressionists have the right to define what art is. And I'm not a painter. My mom was a painter. I'm not a painter. But that's so arrogant. It's the height of arrogance, in fact. So, and this is happening all over North America, and it's spreading to countries like Australia, where these people think because they've got this materialistic view of the body that's what's important. We got to understand that. In fact, I think sometimes it can be detrimental, and why I believe that is it can get people off on the wrong, emphasizing what's not as important in many styles. For example, as I say, the life force in most styles of massage, traditional styles, is the most important thing to understand life force and how the techniques that we're using in massage affects the life force, the flow of the life force. When we emphasize just learning about Latin names for muscles and that sort of thing, one is that that completely takes the emphasis away from, in my opinion, what's very important, and in a lot of people's opinion, what's very important. It also isolates the body as if one muscle is not connected to another. So that's another detrimental impact upon that. I have so many people say, oh, well, what muscle are you working on there? Well, what's more important is how is that affecting the life force? And how does one part of the body affect another? So in a lot of the traditional concepts, like with Thai massage, with acupuncture, and with my style, with what I call bands of tension, it's how one part comes and affects the whole person that's important. Not naming that muscle in Latin, like knowing what these muscles in your fingers and hands are called, is irrelevant, in my opinion, to being a good massage therapist. And of course, that's going to be controversial, and I invite all your comments that disagree with me. But otherwise, it's showing a complete lack of respect for thousands and thousands of years in these different cultures that different things were emphasized. And I'm not even saying that one form of massage, like that people that believe in qi and Lifeforce should dominate, and only Chinese massage should be the one that uses the term massage therapy, and they shouldn't, the Hawaiians shouldn't, or what's being called medical massage or science shouldn't. No, I believe in a free market. I believe in free, just like I believe in freedom of religion. I believe that the ideas behind massage come down to a lot of the time people's spiritual or even sometimes religious ideas, like in Hawaii. Even in Ayurveda, a lot of Ayurvedic medicine comes down to some of the beliefs about the world that are coming through what could be called Hinduism or yoga philosophy. The same in Japan. A lot of words about even the word health. In Japanese, they'll say "Genki desu ka?" How is your health? And the weather is tenki. The key of the weather or the air. I don't know the exact how it goes, but Genki, it has the word ki in it for health. Tenki has the word ki in it. So the idea of Lifeforce permeates their language, it permeates their culture. Even when Japanese people show respect to each other, they're showing respect to the Lifeforce in each other. Okay? So regulating massage, in my opinion, is very, very dangerous. It's like regulating religion. I mean, yes, there should be some regulations, like even in Australia, we have this Royal Commission into child abuse in religious institutions. Yeah, people shouldn't be able to abuse children. People shouldn't be able to abuse their clients. But other than that, a person should be able to practice their art form, their religion, their art form, their healing art, without government interference. Because a lot of it, they'll always claim it's about protecting people. It's about we gotta protect the public from these people like that. Like that's why the British outlawed Ayurvedic medicine apparently in India, because they thought they had a better form. But mostly it's just cultural imperialism and it's arrogance, and it's stifling out crush the other person's culture. But that's what it's always claimed for is protecting innocent people from because we can't control them, therefore they could be dangerous. Well, that can be partly true, but there's a lot of things in life that are dangerous. Driving a car is extremely dangerous. More than 1 million people a year die in the world just in car accidents. People are smoking. People are eating foods which are dangerous. I mean, it's absolutely dangerous, in my opinion, to be drinking Coca-Cola. It's dangerous to be eating McDonald's. It's dangerous to be doing a lot of things in life. Far more dangerous. Far more dangerous. Almost nobody gets hurt by massage. Almost nobody. And I'm not saying nobody, because yes, you can. And I believe, a person should be able to be sued, actually, if they do hurt somebody. Because they have a responsibility, and that's what insurance is for. And that, but generally speaking, insurance for even unregulated massage therapists here in Australia, I'm talking about unregulated, is $100, $200 a year for $1 million worth of coverage, compared to doctors who are paying $40,000, $50,000 a year, maybe for a higher level of coverage. I'm not sure, but medical practices harm far more people than massage, even when they are regulated. Regulation doesn't stop people getting hurt. And with massage, there's not the evidence to show that many people have been hurt. There's a lot of people hurt by medical practitioners, at hospitals, at old age homes. Let alone just the fact that there's a lot of government irresponsibility in teaching children about what is healthy foods. Allowing McDonald's to go into schools and hospitals. I mean, that's just irresponsible. That's negligent. That's dangerous. It's dangerous to people's health. They're going to suffer higher levels of all sorts of diseases. That's my opinion. It's backed up by a lot of facts. So the idea that this whole idea we've got to regulate the massage industry to protect people from being hurt, it's not true. It's not true. It's an excuse. It's like we've got to take away people's freedoms in order to protect them from, it's all George Orwell's 1984 kind of talk is the basic idea behind it. Take away people's freedom of choice is what they're doing. It's for example, why so many people ask me on my YouTube channel, like, do you have any therapists in San Francisco? Do you have any therapists in Atlanta? Do you have any therapists in all over the U.S.? I'm like, no. The vast majority of the United States is a regulated environment where I can't just go in there. Even if even if I have the correct visa to teach there, or my wife who's American comes over there and teaches, it's still, they can't become therapists because of these massage boards. Even though I can train them well, and people should have the right to come and go, hey, I want to go and see somebody that's trained in the Rayner system of massage. It's a restriction on people's freedom, is what it is. And to no benefit. And it also means that instead of massage therapists focusing on becoming a better massage therapist, in say some of the qualities that make a good massage therapist, which we consider things like empathy, correct pressure, techniques, instead of focusing on that, maybe traveling around the world and learning from different masters, different people, they're focused on fulfilling these regulatory requirements. And it's not to the benefit of people. People are suffering because they're not getting good massage. It's only to the benefit of certain massage schools that are involved in this quest for regulation, because they can hire poorly trained or not very qualified people to teach things like anatomy, physiology. You can get a nursing student in their second year. They don't have to be extremely qualified as an artist. They just have to know anatomy, physiology, and then you can make it that 80% of your course is done teaching anatomy, physiology with a teacher that doesn't have to be paid that much because they're easily replaceable, and make that the emphasis of your course, and then just a few Swedish massage techniques, simple techniques that are done like an assembly line. That's what most massage schools are doing. And that's the only way they stay in business, is because of the government regulations protecting them. Because the competition that schools like ours would provide would put them out of business, because people would go, well, I can learn a better style of massage with less time spent at the school and for less money. That's the benefit of a free market economy, in fact, is that it encourages creativity, innovation, and the fact that competition will actually get rid of poor quality schools, poor quality therapists. If you have a choice, you're going to go to a therapist that produces results, that has a better feel, that you get on better with. And that's the benefit of keeping the massage industry as a free market, an unregulated market. Government red tape is not going to help, except, as I say, on that one instance, I can accept that. Protect people from, sleazy therapists. We sign a professional code of conduct. Other than that, it's an art form, okay? Even in Australia, it's so stupid in this country in terms of they have these healthcare rebates, they have these government courses which take a year, and it's just how long. People say to me, oh, how can you teach people massage in 5 or 10 days? What I say back to these schools is, how can you not teach people good massage in a year? Because they're not teaching them good massage. They're teaching them a lot of anatomy, physiology. They're teaching them how to do a routine massage. I've been to some of the student clinics in Sydney, and they don't even know how to use elbows when they're massaging a bigger person like myself. They can't get the pressure needed, let alone understanding. They don't even, I went to massages in Canada with people that had done 3,000 hours of training. And I asked them about, did they actually study any of the traditional styles of massage that have had histories going back thousands of years? No, that was an optional extra, is what they answered. I was like, what, you don't, in 3,000 hours you don't even study the ideas behind Chinese medicine or Japanese medicine? No, that's an optional extra. That's what they said to me in Toronto. And then another one, I was describing how tension was coming from my, that I had in my hip was coming from my foot and my ankle, and he listened, and all very, appearance of professionalism. Then when he massaged, all he did was a deep Swedish massage up my leg. I was going, oh, don't you even do the feet? And his reply was, I used to do that as part of my routine, but I don't do that anymore. I'm like, you still do a routine massage after 3,000 hours of training, and this guy had been practicing for 6 or 7 years? You don't make the massage suit the person? My emphasis on training is we always make the massage suit the person, not the person suit the massage. It's not an assembly line. People are individuals. And that's the problem, because they aren't trained as artists. They aren't trained to feel where the blockages are, feel the life force, and move it. They're just like this veneer of professionalism, of being able to talk in Latin and wear a white coat. But that doesn't make you actually a good massage therapist. That's my opinion. I think massage regulation is so detrimental to the creativity and innovation, and particularly in this time in history when It's been only since about, the last 50 years, in particular since the 1960s, when China's opened up and air travel is happened and internet, where we've got access to all of this information, which was previously quite difficult. It was very difficult 100 years ago to go to India and learn Ayurvedic massage. It was difficult 100 years ago to China and learn because of the language barriers, because of the distance involved. Now we've got this ability for information to flow, whether it even be through here, what I'm doing now is talking on YouTube, but also to travel. And so creativity, innovation is at a high point, and yet these people are trying to regulate that, stifle that. All right? So I can learn from the masters in India, I can learn from the masters in China, the ones in Japan, the ones in Hawaii, and then I can come up with my own ideas and maybe add something else that I've learned and make it my own. And that is what art is all about. And that's why art should not be regulated. All right, so that's my opinion on massage regulation. I am vehemently opposed to it. I think it is so destructive. I want to spread what I do. Not everybody likes it, I get that, but a lot of people like what I do. A lot of people get fantastic results, and I'd love to spread that to the US. I'd love to spread that to Canada more. But with all this stifling red tape, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. It's too many hoops to jump through. That's what I say. I'm not going to go set up a massage school in some regulated state in the US, and it's a huge procedure. I'd rather just, do what I do in unregulated countries and work like that. That's not my forte. I'm not a red tape person. I'm not a bureaucrat. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy sharing massage. I enjoy massaging and helping people that want to be helped. So I don't want to be involved in that. But so I encourage you guys, whoever it is, to campaign against that, to try and overturn this trend toward massage regulation. We hope to teach in a couple of unregulated states in the U.S. My wife will teach the courses because she's a U.S. citizen. Maybe I'll come along just to be there. In Vermont or Kansas, where it's unregulated. But they want to close everything up. In which case, people from America are going to have to come to Australia. And then you've got complete idiots here in Australia that are trying to control and regulate everything as well, which I'll talk about later, which is one of the reasons why now I'm not even allowed to show cervical manipulations in my videos, because of some idiot in Australia here. And I'll talk about that. That's a very serious issue about people's restrictions on people's freedoms. I'm a freedom fighter. I believe in freedom. I believe in creativity. I believe in innovation. So I hope you all will join me in fighting for it. Thanks again.